ones that they can help find a babysitter or something so they can work. So it's gonna be
Came up with that idea, it's great.
yeah, Kathy's, I guess, Jim and Brown.
I finally did that one out. So
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
yeah. They said that the other day at the lunch.
Wow, that's a great idea.
You said Tom is coming?
Yes, I have.
It's gonna be late.
It's a little smelly after.
It's just like-
We can't come in with all the whole
You are now.
Okay, I got 12 o'clock, so call the meeting of the Fire and Police Committee to order. And roll call, please.
Bill Jenks,
Here.
Tom Moll,
Here?
Tom Boucher, this is absent, Fred Levering,
Here.
John Woodward,
Here.
and Keith Bear.
Here.
Okay, public comments? Public comments?
Yes, I wish to say a few things, Adrian J.D. Wyomissing, 48 Cardinal Road. I don't know, I cannot not observe that it seems that some of our neighbors are trying to manufacture issues on our street. So we had an incident on Friday when, again, cars were parked in such a way that no fire truck can pass through. And what it was really obvious was that it was done exactly in front of a driveway. It wasn't the matter of being in front of the driveway, it was the matter that nothing passes through. So anyway, we called the police and they dealt with it, and I appreciate dealing with it. I cannot not observe though that, and again, I agree with the matter this was handled. They found a stranger car over there and knocked at some doors, figured it out, got it out, solved the issue. I think this is what the police is about, is to protect and serve, is to serve, and not to ticket, not to anything. But I cannot not observe that way back when we had some friends come over to give us a present for Christmas, and they parked in the same spot, but they were coming to our home. And some neighbor complained that there was a car parked in front of the driveway, and the officers came, ticketed the car, and left. No knocking on doors, not at least in front of our doors, because obviously the complaint was not done by us. It was not blocking our exit. And this happened when the owner is an immigrant, the owner of the car, not us. Immigrant, Jew, from Israel. And the car was licensed in their names. Same thing happened with Mr. Krotoyarski, that he got hit with NOVs. He is a Russian Jew.
What's the specifics?
The specifics of the complaint is that there is a discrepancy in which we treat immigrants and other races in this,
And you know
under
this-
this,
and you
may
know
I,
this
may I-
how?
because
You-
I know how the tickets were issued. May I please finish? And this happened under the same mayor. We can agree that it was under different police chiefs, but it was under the same mayor, and it seems to be a policy. When we were building the wall and had to take the cars out for the truck to come and deliver material. We were there. The officer came, Officer Platt came, ticketed the cars. No questions asked. So on one hand, we don't ticket certain people, and on the other hand, we seem to treat different people who are immigrants.
So you're claiming
Mark.
that the Mayor Levering was there at both times?
I think it should be his policies. It's his policy. He supervises these things, and he has never been interested in discussing and resolving these issues. We have contacted him. He doesn't seem to be interested. And I think it's a serious issue, and I think the way you're treating it, Mr. James, Councilman James, with dismissal, when it is an obvious act and it is consistent, when our neighbors come and defecate their dogs in front of our driveways and you justify that he's just walking the dog. It's not just lack of awareness. It's more than that, sir.
Okay, Mr. J. Time's up. Thank you. You can save the rest for your campaign speeches.
I think that's uncalled for.
I think
It is
your
an honest.
accusations
I
are very
have-
uncalled for too.
I have not campaigned. I have come and asked the same things for over 7 years now. 2014, I came in front of you, and I was not doing a campaign speech at the time, sir. So it's uncalled for. Okay?
We'll make
Thank you
sure
very much.
Everybody gets ticketed from now on.
No, that's not what I asked. I said, I started by saying,
Okay, moving on. Fire department report, please.
Good afternoon. For the month of August to date, there were 159 responses consisting of 19 fires, 60 medical or motor vehicle accidents, 17 hazardous conditions, 61 alarm activations, 2 smoke detector installs. Total responses in the borough 98, outside of the borough 61. To date, for the month, we have $1,700 in fire damage and $9,900 in saved property. That was for 2 incidents. One was at the Met Apartments, grill kind of extended on the deck out there into some of their cabinets, and a vehicle fire on Goldfinch. Average turnout per incident so far was 5.3 personnel. We had 14 responses from volunteers, and the total response year to date, 1,046. For the expanded July report, there was 231 calls system-wide, 93 medical or motor vehicle accidents, 138 fire-related calls. We had a property loss of $504,500. That was all in Spring Township. Yes, that was all in Spring Township. There was nothing missing. We gave aid 55 times. We received aid 43 times. We had 81 overlapping calls. Dispatch to and route time was 2 minutes 16 seconds. Dispatch to on scene was 6 minutes 45 seconds. And then we provided assistance to Maiden Creek Township 1 time, Borrowdale Borough 1 time, Western Berks Fire Department 17, Burnville 1, Leesport 1, Greenfield 6, West Reading 9, Moulton 4, Muhlenberg 5, Cumberland Township 3, and the City of Reading 1. That's all I have for reports. If anybody has any questions on those.
Any questions on the reports?
How's the equipment working?
So far, so good. The new ladder truck is working well. The tower is back at station. However, we're still waiting for that sensor, DEF sensor. Last we had communications was about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. They're still waiting on that sensor for the DEF unit or whatever, which apparently they can replace at our station. So that's kind of what we're sitting. The truck's kind of just sitting there right now, waiting for that to get repaired.
brokerage service.
Guaranteed to the end of the driveway.
No more questions for the report.
Did you have any markings?
We did not for the month of July. I did not look at August, but we have it. That's on, well, I don't think you get that report. That's on a medical report that we put in there that if you use Narcan, but we haven't used any Narcan in the month of July. I'm not aware of anything in August at this point.
None of the things I've been reading in the paper, like it's not upstate, you seem to be less.
Moving on, if you haven't already saw or been aware, we applied for two regional FEMA grants. I guess it is actually the 2020 through the federal government. We did a regional grant with Wyomissing hosting it for rescue tools. We've been awarded that grant in the amount of $69,953. That will be split between Spring and Wyomissing. Wyomissing will be receiving $39,869, and Spring will be receiving $30,084. That's for additional, actually looking for 3 Hearst rescue tools for Wyomissing and 2 for Spring Township. I'm going to be meeting with the vendors tomorrow to actually get a full-fledged quote and everything like that, so we can proceed with that. And we do have a second regional grant that was hosted by Spring Township through the FEMA. I think that's around the tune of $30,000. That's for miscellaneous equipment, meters, gas meters, and thermal imaging cameras, but we have not heard if we were awarded that grant yet or not. So we're moving forward with the 2021 FEMA grant. We're getting everything in order so we can submit that. That's supposed to open sometime in September.
Those grants, you buy it, you get reimbursed, or do you get the money up front?
Yeah, it depends. The federal government was smart and extended their grants out 2 years. So, because they know it's an issue with getting materials back. So we usually have to purchase the money or to purchase the product, and then when we get the canceled check back and everything, then we can forward that to FEMA for the checks and balances and stuff like that. And then they in turn put the money back. Some of the stuff they've been giving ahead of time as well, but normally the way it works is we have to make the purchase, and then once the process is done, and even once we submit the purchase, we can probably get the reimbursement process started for that. This grant supposedly was funded 100% from what I'm being told. Normally there was 10% matching funds type of thing out of the FEMA grant, but I was told this was funded 100%, so we'll see for that. However, the FEMA grant has not extended that. They kept it a year. We did some finagling around to close out the FEMA grant for 2019, or 2020 rather, with stuff that we had purchased before, which was okay to do because the stuff that we were awarded for the grant down here was equipment and personal protective equipment turnout gear. And again, there's a delay with getting those equipments and everything, so that stuff's kind of all in order. But working with the grant writer, we kind of, somehow he circumvented it because they haven't extended it out with the delay. He had satisfied that grant through additional stuff that we had purchased and stuff like that, with checks and receipts and all that kind of stuff, additional grants and stuff like that. So that money is already in the account here from FEMA. I think that was like $14,600 or some sort, which is already sitting in our account. So we keep working on grants. We are currently the only one that we're still waiting for the second regional grant that Spring Township posted. And then I have a grant in with PA American Water right now down here at Wyomissing. And again, we're working on getting everything in order for the FEMA grant, which should open in September. That's all I have.
Are you seeking a motion for the Hearst equipment?
I think I'm gonna have to bring that back. I don't have it, I mean, I guess we can make a motion or to accept the grant, but ultimately I don't have the appropriate prices yet to see where we're at, which I can bring that back to the next fire and police committee meeting that point, we will need a motion because that purchase will be, we're gonna be looking at probably around $39,869 for the fuel tools.
When we just table this till next month, then we have it.
Yeah, because the grant's already moving forward or whatever and stuff like that, but now what I need to do is I need to get the official quotes and everything like that, and then we can make that, I think that's where we would need the motion to make, to purchase that amount of money or whatever, and then we can move forward from there.
Okay. Great. This table, we need a motion for that. Alrighty. Anything else, Colin?
No, that's all I have this.
Thank you. Any other questions for Colin? Glad to see we're getting some earth equipment.
Yeah, we currently have, we'll probably end up having extra equipment. We were trying to outfit each of the trucks, but, not sure what's gonna happen down in the future or whatever, so we may have some extra, but it's always good to have extra. At the end of the day, it's, money coming in from the government, it's not money that we 100% put out on there. So. And unfortunately, you can't, it's a little bit difficult to change grants once you're awarded the grants, to go back in and try and change for the equipment that you already selected and stuff like that.
Is this, do you anticipate getting this stuff in this year or?
I'm gonna say no, for the simple fact of it seems like with any kind of equipment or parts or anything like that seems to be extended out. I don't know what her lead time is as far as how much they have in stock or how their production's going with everything that's going on. So, if we have, we're in August, at the September meeting, we can approve the purchase or whatever at that point we can order it. So I'm not sure what the lead time would be, obviously, if we would have it this year yet or next year, or beginning of next year.
I'm thinking just because we have to put the money out and we'll be reimbursed financially, aware of this and incorporate it into the planning for expenditures, likely 2022 expenditures.
It's usually pretty quick. Once we send the paperwork, they send it electronic. It's all done electronically and stuff like that through bills.
Okay. Thank you. Western Berks.
Hi, everyone. All right, so for the month of July, we had a total number of incidents of 247. Of those, we transported 190. 20 of them were refused. One was a standby. We were canceled 27 times and 9 were just assists. We had 96 ALS, 116 BLS. And we went to the Highlands 24 times and Country Meadows 28. Our dispatch to responding time was 1 minute 16 seconds, and our average on-scene time was 13 minutes 58. 6 p.m. seemed to be our highest, or our busiest hour. We went to Reading 155 times, St. Joe's 23, and we did use 2 Narcan treatments in the month of July. Any questions on the reports?
Thank you.
We had some COVID-related updates. The Delta variant is out there. Seems to be influencing the hospitals. There have been people that have been vaccinated and are now back in the hospital with COVID. It doesn't seem to be as severe. They're in the hospital, but they're not on beds or anything like that as of right now, so which is a good thing. Just if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated if you can. Johnson & Johnson is just the 1 shot. Moderna and Pfizer are the 2 shots still, and from what I'm hearing, they're gonna have a booster for Pfizer and Moderna, which is from what I understand, it's 9 months since you had your last shot, so I don't know how long that is for everyone. But that's the COVID updates, and if anyone needs hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, anything like that, cleaning supplies, through Amazon Business, they were able to supply a whole bunch of equipment that was free. So we have tons of stuff. So I'm not even joking. It's like 23 55-gallon bottles of like hand sanitizer. Figure it out. We have a lot. We distributed to all the schools in the area. We did the municipalities. We're looking at doing some of the nursing homes in the area just to help them with costs since it was free. So if anyone needs anything, please feel free to come get some hand sanitizer.
Gallon jug,
Right.
right?
Pat, you wanna check with Colleen, see, I know they have a jug down there, see if she needs any more at the library.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I was asked to bring up the consideration for the EMS membership funding plan, just for you guys to start thinking about it, see if we can discuss that for next year. That's all I have.
How's the building?
So it's still with the architects right now. We're still in conversations with Spring Township to see if we can get the garage, the spring garage that they own, that they let us use, to see if we can acquire that, because it could be a whole game changer if we can get that building, we can kind of go the whole way. But we're meeting with the architects, and it's a very slow process.
You bet.
We joked about having, our office now at Christmas time, and I'm thinking we're still gonna be there at Christmas time.
That'll be
so-
2022.
Right, yeah.
Okay, any questions, any other comments? Okay, Chief?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, first I have is the Friends of Reading Hospital is requesting to hold a 5K fun, run, walk, and half marathon on October 17th. All three of which mostly comes through the borough. The half marathon is multiple municipalities, but the half marathon and 5K are predominantly through the borough. Some of it's through the parklands, but some of it is on streets. We're gonna have to shut some areas down for a period of time if this is allowed. We've done it, I guess the first time was in 2018 that they did the half marathon. And because of COVID, they had to do it in 19 and 20. So we've done it in the past for them. They've done the 5K and fun run for years, but they started the half marathon for years. So they are requesting the permit, it's going to require a permit to hold this event. Again, it's October 17th.
We recommend the council to approve that.
Okay, a motion, second?
Second.
I do have a question, have they submitted all the paperwork?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
do have it. My next plan is I need to contact West Reading's chief, Springs chief for sure, because it's the half marathon really goes through the city as well for a little bit. I don't know how involved they're gonna be in the planning, but we gotta get some things figured out, especially with West Reading, because it all starts down there by the Scottish Rite, that parking lot, ends in that area as well, so. we have to figure out the road closures and timing and everything.
Is that one that they pay for?
Yeah. We used 6 officers the last time, so I was gonna take a look at it, see if that seems to be about what we need. Looks like it's the same course as last time, but, I wanna get into this year, the next couple of weeks to get this figured out.
Okay, any other questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so be it.
I wanted to give an update to the damage that was sustained at car 5 in that car crash back on July 14th. We've had a lot of issues with getting that repaired. It was basically where we have it at KC has been trying to get in touch with our insurance company to get permission to start purchasing the equipment. They were not getting phone calls back from the insurance adjusters. I made a couple phone calls to that individual, and I never received any feedback from him or return calls. Started contacting other individuals, and I included, I had Pat get involved as well. We found out that he was out, something on a medical, so nothing got forwarded to anybody else. So then it was trying to get them to still contact KC, whoever has it, to give them the permission to start. Well, as of this morning, they have the permission. So everything's finally getting ordered, but this is over 2 months now that this has been sitting over there, so I'm hoping, depending on how, with parts and everything, today, I'm not sure how much longer it's gonna be out, but I'm hoping it's not out much longer. But they finally have the authorization to get it done.
Who does our auto insurance?
Pennsylvania Manufacturers Mutual through this.
say 15% if you want to go.
We should just make sure our local person is aware that we did not
I,
get a good
I
response.
was in contact with them, so I actually spoke to Jimmy this last call.
Jim or Jimmy? Young Jim.
Young. It things seem to roll a little faster now. I want to give you an update as well on our status of our body worn cameras and the vehicle cameras. Everything is still ordered. I've been in contact with them to see about the status. They said 6 to 8 weeks. I'm being told that they anticipate it more being like the 8 weeks, which is the end of the September area timeframe. So I'm hoping that we have it at that point, but again, with everything else, that's what I'm hoping for. One thing that I think we need to keep in mind is for our grant, we have to have that, I have to submit to them a copy of our contract with WatchGuard and then a copy of the check. So for us to get the grant submission and get our payment back from them. So if we don't have it for whatever reason, we may want to pay it prior to us actually having it in hand so that we don't lose that grant money. So that's $23,000, so we want to make sure we still get that. So if, by the end of October, if we don't have it, I'm going to ask them to make that payment so that I can get that to them in November. And we should have the check in December. They say it's a quick turnaround.
It's all been approved, right?
Yeah, everything's been
Everything's been
approved.
approved from the council, so you
Right.
can just do it whenever.
But I wanted to keep you updated with that, because I'm just really worried about ordering anything nowadays. I'm sure you see it too, it's just, we don't get it, it takes forever. I've got a phone call and an email from a resident up on 78 Timberline. He's asking for a no outlet sign be placed at the top of the hill there by Pinewood. He says there's a lot of traffic that kind of goes up that way, because it's a dead end, and then just has to turn around and leave the area. I want to make you aware that the request was made, but what I'd like to do is get our traffic signs up there to see what kind of traffic counts we get, because I don't really believe that there's a lot of cars going up there. But right now, I still have our traffic signs down on 4th with the opening of everything. I'm gonna keep that at least till the end of this month, so that I'm trying to keep people slow and get accurate counts for everything that's down there. But based upon the information, once I get it up there, we can make a decision now whether we want to put a no outlet sign in, is what he's asking for.
Are there any other ones in the borough?
For no outlet?
Yeah.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Out at 300 block
You mean
of,
signs that are already there?
Douglas?
Yeah.
I think it is, that is.
Yeah, I think there's one
Yeah,
there, right?
well,
So, I mean, there's not many.
Not a lot, though.
Few. But I just, there's not, that is, Greenwood Mall area is really an area where you're going up there because you live there, or you're going to specifically visit someone. Everybody kind of knows it's one way in, one way out. So I don't anticipate seeing a lot of traffic up there. I've never seen it over 25 years, and, there's never a lot of people driving up there. So I don't know that it's really warranted, but I'd like to still be able to see, what kind of information we can get on that.
Can you let that resident know?
Yeah, I've already let him know when I spoke to him, but I just wanted to make sure they're aware, and I just want to wait till I get those signs that I can put up there.
Yeah. Motion to table, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it.
We'll do the civil unrest next. But the civil unrest that occurred back in 2020, then Lieutenant Endy had put in for grant applications with FEMA to get a portion of the overtime that we spent during all those different incidences. I recently found out that we were awarded the grant. We weren't awarded a portion, we were actually awarded the full amount. And that amount was $8,615.53. I returned the documents that we needed to accept the grant. And then we got an email back saying that they wanted some kind of documentation from the borough stating that I was authorized to sign for that grant acceptance. So Pat drew up the letter that you see on the screen. We were asking that be accepted and approved so that then we can send that off and get the grant status finally approved.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that Chris doesn't satisfy you. So moved.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it.
Okay, and then lastly, committee had asked me, I think 2 meetings ago, to come up with a 5-year plan for the replacement of our fleet. I have that up here. And on the first page, you can see I have it out by the year, so you can see the total amounts. When you read the plan, it goes into how I came to those numbers. I base the numbers, as we don't know what the cost of everything are gonna be, at the cost for the vehicles today, and then doing a 5% increase each year for the cost of the vehicle, and then the replacement of any equipment or transferring of any equipment. The first year, it has 3 cars, and I believe every year after that is 2 cars per year being replaced. Right now, we're kind of coming to the end of our unmarked vehicles that our criminal investigators utilize. You can see that that's car 1, 2, 3, and 12. They kind of get purchased a while ago, so now they're starting to come to their end here. The patrol cars, the way I'm setting it up is basically going to be 3 officers assigned to the 4 cars that are utilized for patrol. They will, by doing that, they're going to get at least some point of break, trying to keep the mileage and idle time down. That's what really kills us, is the idle time, because with our computers that we have in there today, if you don't leave the car running, the darn things die when they run off the battery for a while. So the cars have to be kept running, so you get that idle time on the engine, and that's what adds to it as far as the needing extra maintenance on the vehicles and causing things to break down and things like that. And Jake does a really great job of keeping the cars going. We're going to have to start replacing those cars, and that's how I have it broken down by the years as to what cars to be replaced. I have some things in there about our supervisor vehicles, where instead of having just 1, car 5, which is out right now, I made that a second supervisor vehicle. So it's, instead of that supervisor car going 24/7, that car always, in our history, gets a lot of mileage quickly because it doesn't really get a break per shift. So having the 2 sergeants assigned to each, it gives that car a break. By doing all this, I really anticipate seeing cars starting to be able to last, like an extra year or so out of these cars. It looks like we replace them about every 3 years, looking back at the history. I'm expecting supervisor vehicle, and then what we use is our traffic car, because that historically is always, when the supervisor car gets replaced, that old supervisor car replaces the traffic car, and then the traffic car usually goes. So I'm anticipating being able to keep the traffic and supervisor cars in the rotation longer once we get through this 5 years. And it's just gonna be the patrol cars that are probably gonna have to start getting, and hopefully we'll be able to do 1 at a time so it lasts 3 or 4 years. So, again, it's all spelled out there. I don't know if you've all had a chance to really read the whole thing. I don't want to go through each page here, unless you really want me to read it to you word for word, but if anybody has any questions about it, I'm glad to answer them for you.
Send that out to finance,
Yeah.
forward it to everybody in finance. Because I don't think we got this, right? I mean, this didn't come in the packet.
I'm sorry?
This isn't any of our packets at this point.
For finance, why not? I just finished it up last week, so I knew this was gonna be the first meeting, so I gave it to Melissa to make it a part of this meeting. I think this is where you actually asked for it.
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it got sent out.
Right,
So, yeah, just send it to finance.
Keith doesn't seem to provide you the information.
Yeah, I want to read it, but that's exactly what we were looking for, because we want to start putting in the budget, so we know, so we start reserving for these. So we have a 5-year plan, same with what we're going to do with fire trucks as well. I think we should be the same thing, just so we have a long-range plan for replacement.
So I mean, like I said, when you go through it, if you have any questions, just
So
call.
you're looking at 2 new cars for next year, correct?
I'm looking at 3 for next
Or
year.
3 for next year.
Yes.
Have you heard anything, with these microchips?
Well, I go into that in here. The supervisor vehicle, I would like it to be a Chevy Tahoe, because we need it for the size. The Tahoe is also pursuit rated. We've historically had an Expedition. The Expedition is what we just purchased because we could not get Tahoes in 2021 because of that chip issue. So, and like I said, I have it, when you read it, it's documented in there. They're about the same price, but because of the pursuit rated and the possibility that it may have to go somewhere quickly, I think it's better that we get that rating for the car. But I don't know what it's gonna be like in 2022.
I tried to order a new one this year. That's all I got, my everyday car's Tahoe was for 30 years.
Really?
He told me, order one next year, don't even bother trying to order one this year.
And in the game, right now, Dodge has the Charger and it has the Durango. We have 2 of the Chargers, and quite honestly, they've been there's a lot of maintenance issues with those. They do not hold up well. That's why I'm starting to look to get rid of those in the next 5-year plan here. The Durangos, I've done some checking. City has some. They're having some issues already with them. Well, I'm not real comfortable looking at the Dodge ones. And you have Chevy, all they have is the Tahoe, and then they have a pickup, Silverado, for their police packages. Tahoe's really nice, it seems, but again, we can't get them, which makes it a big issue when we need the cars. So then we have Ford, they have the utility, which is basically what you see the bodies like the Explorers, and they have an F-150 now that are police rated and pursuit rated. The Expedition, it's not in the police package, like I said, but you can obviously get them. And they have a van that they have for prisoner transfer and stuff like that. So Chevy and Ford are really the only 2 that we have the choice of, and Chevys, I don't know how well we can get them. So that kind of puts us down to the Ford, and that's why I'm showing Fords in here to do these replacements. Because they seem to have the ability to still get the cars out. So, plus the Ford utility is a few thousand, I think it's like $6,000 cheaper than the Tahoe. I mean, that's for everyday patrol, it's gonna save us money, that's gonna add up.
It's gonna be a guessing.
It really, and that's why like I said, I've explained in there, I'm guessing a 5% increase each year, getting those costs.
An article I read in Wall Street Journal last week saying that actually GM, once the car comes off the production line, they're taking it to their storage area, actually removing the chips, taking the chips back to the plant, putting them in the next car. Once that gets to where it's stored, pulling the chips out of that, going back to the plant again.
I would not be surprised if these chips we're gonna start seeing them being stolen out because it just seems like it's happening. You just can't get out.
Catalytic converters.
Yeah, I was gonna say catalytic converter.
So,
So do we have any plans going forward to use electric vehicles, or are they pursuit qualified?
the car 4 that we have is a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hybrid?
Thank you, it's a hybrid vehicle. It's holding up, but I wouldn't say does as well as the gas cars. I think that they have to kind of
So we're a few
perfect
years
that.
out.
I think we're a few years out to get the hybrids. It doesn't have the pickup, and it fades out a bit.
Yeah, but that's for hybrids, if I may say, not for electrics. He asked about electrics. Electrics blow out of it. Yes,
We're quiet.
just trying to help.
As far as electric, it's gonna be able to deal with all the computers and cameras and everything else that we have to,
Oh, yeah.
and then we're gonna have to think of charging stations and far as I see, they get about 200 miles per charge, most of the electric cars. So that would worry me as far as how many of those we would need to get through a 24-hour cycle. Because they're gonna, I mean, there are some days when it's busy, they don't get as many miles, but if it's a midnight shift and there's nothing going on, it's a small borough, but they can get 100 miles on it pretty easy. So doing that then with a day shift on top of it, I don't know how to make it through, so we would need a car to let them jump into while it's charging. So I think some improvements still need to be, I know, yeah, but I think they need to work on it a little bit more before we make it the car.
We'll just get a bunch of Teslas.
Doubling batteries.
Mercedes.
Yeah. We did an experiment on your patrol vehicles back in the 70s. We put hour meters on those cars. And at the end of the year, those cars ran 355 days solid, never stopped. That's the engine hours.
A lot of it, I mean, a lot of the newer cars, they have that on there, that's one of the options, you can look at the idle time.
Yeah, it's an eye opener when you think running an engine like that. Because the cars used to use at the end of the shift, used to put a quart of oil a shift in the Hummets, in the 440s.
Mr. Chairman, can I clarify a few things? Because there were some, as an owner of an electric car, I can tell you,
No, we're not at that point that we're making any decisions on electric cars. Thank you.
just for the purpose, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, other
Okay,
visitors are allowed
Excuse me.
to speak.
I said no, thank you. It's not the time or the place.
It's just for the good of the information here.
Chief, continue.
That's all I have.
How about, tell me the good 4th Street story about the one-way streets, is that working out? Are the neighbors making Michelle knows it's
I haven't gotten any complaints from the neighbors, I don't know if Michelle has, it seems to me that it's okay so far.
You may have just jinxed us,
Yeah.
but
No, I mean,
That's what I do.
I'm not getting any complaints about the speed, I don't know if our signs out, those you get a flashing sign that says slow down, that tends to get your attention, so that's why I wanted to keep it there this month yet. But we haven't gotten any.
So the traffic flow around the circle, do people get it?
I think so, I mean, if you've driven over there,
Yeah.
people are driving on top of it for sure, and I think that's why they designed it with the kind of ramp access to it. It's kind of narrow. Trucks are definitely having to drive over that, but I think that they are doing it. I don't know if the traffic is backing up as much on Park. I think they're starting to use 4th a bit more. I'm not,
Well, it'll take time.
yeah.
two things there. The circle was designed, trucks are supposed to drive over it, so that's a mountable curb. Second piece of that is the loop detector in Innovation. If you're coming out to Park, there's a loop detector there to signal the signal on Park to go. That detector's broken. It was already called out as part of this project to be replaced. That's in Borowiss's, future work to still be done. There are some issues. That light is changing for no apparent reason. It's just in the cycle. It'll change whether someone's sitting on Innovation to pull out on Park or not. So there are times, based off of Dave Boucher made a comment at Economic Development last week, that he's noticing the light change and nobody's sitting there, so that's causing traffic to back up a little bit. But I would think once that's done, Equus put up $130,000 as a fee in lieu of doing a traffic improvement study for that site specifically. Plus we have other money we're holding from the Met, from the knitting mills, from Wawa, that a post-development traffic study will be done, and then all of those lakes are timed.
So
I
I know
know-
there's a problem that's gonna be resolved.
Yes.
I noticed, Michelle, that, thanks, it's not an issue now because there's limited amount of traffic there, but as that increases. If I was at the Telflex building and exited out the front, left on Innovation, and as you now immediately come up to the circle, to the roundabout, it's easy to get in the wrong lane. You know, you gotta actually be paying attention, not, and you gotta stay over to the right in order to get in the right direction. Like a painted arrow or something on the street as to which one you're heading towards. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I very nearly got in the wrong lane.
One of the other things that Jim McCarthy, Jim Babb, and I talked about is putting up wayfinding signs outside of the PennDOT right away. I mean, it's great that dedicated right turn is there to go in, but if you're from out of the area and don't know that that's the connection to get down to the highway, you're not gonna take it. We just have to do that outside of PennDOT's right away, because otherwise we need PennDOT approval. So when we do that, I can talk to them about looking at that area as well.
Any other comments for the chief? Thank you, chief. Okay, moving on to old business. Okay. Moving on to any new business that has been brought up. Hearing none. Okay, at this time, we're moved into, adjourn into executive session to discuss some personnel matters. Are we gonna have anything to be voted on when we come back?
I don't think so. Matt, do you think so?
Should not.
Okay, so then we'll just go back into a regular session to adjourn then. Okay?
Fred, those too many chips went away today.
Well, I ain't wasting
Slow you.
To regular session. We met in executive session to discuss personnel matters, which no issue was taken at this time. Anybody have anything else they wish to bring before the committee? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move adjourned.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Thank you. One and all.
Michelle, finances Thursday.
Next week.
Oh, it's not this week.
Oh, no, next week.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go, I didn't go to New York lately, I'm gonna go tomorrow, and I might not come back to Thursday. I'll call and go. I'm gonna have to pack my I'm gonna grab one.
So see you tomorrow at,
10:45.
I'm gonna probably be there for 5-ish minutes early, but yeah.
Monday's never day, so I'll see
You don't know what they wanna know.
No?
Well, we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Everybody wants to go.
See ya.
See ya.
Always.